James in Louisiana.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi, guys. Can you hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear?
We hear you clear.
Fantastic. What can we do for you today?
Yeah, well, I just kind of like to disagree with the other caller. The laws of logic don't actually prove the God of Christianity. That's what a lot of Calvinist Protestants do. I'm a Catholic myself.
Well, hold on.
But,
he was speaking for
anybody
you,
can
James.
come along.
He was speaking for the Christian worldview. You're a Christian, right?
Yeah, well, I'm a traditional Catholic. We believe only Catholics are Christians, true Christians.
Oh.
But anyway.
But are they Scotsmen?
Well, there's a lot of Catholics that are Scotsmen.
Sure.
Braveheart actually was a Catholic. Braveheart.
William Wallace.
William Wallace.
Yeah. So I was being a bit of an ass. Let me go back a bit.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But, you know what the no true Scotsman fallacy is, right?
Well, I've heard of it, but the thing is,
just really quickly, because maybe this can be a tool that'll help out in other parts of your life, and that's why it could be useful to share. The no true Scotsman fallacy is, Christy, will you help me with this? So
this is all you. I'm here to talk about dicks and vulvas and why God shouldn't be involved.
Okay, so I'm having a non-dick and vulva conversation with Christy, and I say, Christy, all Scotsmen wear kilts.
Uh-huh.
And Christy says, well, actually, Eric, my best friend is a Scotsman, and he doesn't wear a kilt. And I say, well, then he's not a true Scotsman.
Mm-hmm. I prefer the Eddie Izzard angle. Why do you wear women's clothes? Can't be wearing women's clothes because they're mine. Why do I have a girl's name? It's not a girl's name. It's my name.
It's kicking out that other side. If somebody calls themselves a Christian, I'm not going to try and invalidate it. I'm just going to listen to what they have to say. So I think the position of, well, we're the only true Christians, it just doesn't fit well. Maybe that can be something that can help inform conversations with other people, because what it does is it's a version of what that other guy was doing, which is, speaking on behalf of everybody who takes that label on. That's all.
Okay, well, that has not really anything to do with what I called about. But,
sure, we appreciate that. Just some rules of engagement for, kind-hearted people, but go right ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So the thing is, what he was saying that, logic, it points to, it manifests because of God, the God of the Bible. But anybody could come along and say, well, I worship Zod, and I think the laws of logic came about from Zod.
Mm-hmm.
So it can work with any false god. But
honestly,
the thing is, I'm going to give
I tried it with the Book of Eric, and then I watched back that episode, and it was the douchiest thing I have ever said. And I say some douchey things, but that was pretty bad. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah, so I'm going to take a different approach.
Cool. What do you got?
Because I'm going to show that illogic actually proves God.
Ooh, I like it. What do we got?
Well, the thing is, there are numerous Catholic miracles that atheists are unable to explain. And my guess is that what you're going to do is you're going to say that you cannot explain it because that's the go-to position of atheists. But it is evidence. And the fact that it's evidence and that it's credible evidence and that it's right there, right in your face, and yet you cannot explain it, diminishes
dark matter is heavily
argument.
evidence, but we can't explain it. That doesn't prove anything, but go right ahead.
Well, for example, the Miracle of Fatima. Have you ever heard of the Miracle of Fatima in 1917?
Absolutely. The miracle,
it was
the miracle of the sun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was three little children that the Blessed Virgin Mary was appearing to, but only the three children could see the Blessed Virgin Mary when they would pray the rosary, the rosary prayer. Yeah. Nobody else could see.
And they said that a certain time of day that the sun would zip around the sky, and that time came, and reports were that they saw the sun zip around the sky. Right?
Well, anyway, no one else could see the Blessed Virgin Mary, only the three little children.
Okay.
And she would give certain messages about the church and so forth, and also, prophecy about what would happen in the 20th century, which actually came to be fulfilled. And she told the three children that a month after that, I think it was the third or fourth appearance, that the next month she would do a miracle so that other people, would also know that this was occurring, because there were a lot of people that were skeptical. They didn't believe the children.
James.
So it got around Europe,
James.
spread around Europe. And
Hey, James.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did I summarize the story?
No, actually, you didn't.
Okay, so
I'm giving context to it because you didn't actually get it correct.
Okay, so is the miracle that the sun zipped around the sky?
Also the miracle is the Blessed Virgin Mary appearing to the three children and communicating with them.
Right, and I can bring you a lot more than three children who lie, so I don't care. That is something that.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm presenting the context so that your audience, because there's thousands of listeners, I presume.
Absolutely, for thousands of listeners, I will tell you.
I'm trying to give context of so that they know what occurred.
Right, and
so anyway.
This isn't, I'm sorry, but we don't have a whole lot of time. This isn't James' story time. I want to get to the miracle so we can talk about the meat of this. So you say that there was a time that the sun zipped around the sky and it was foretold by the Virgin Mary to three children.
So the Virgin Mary said that the Lord would do a miracle. And so over 70,000 people showed up to see that miracle. All across Europe, they went to that little town of Fatima in Portugal. And sure enough, in that morning, they saw the miracle. They did see the sun move out of its location in the sky, and they saw it swirl all around the sky, even coming towards them and then going back to its location in the sky. And this lasted for about 9 to 10 minutes. Yeah. And I noticed that a lot of atheists, the argument that they put forth is that this was some sort of mass hallucination.
Well, those happen.
And the problem with that is,
you would agree those happen, right?
Well, let me explain the problem with that.
Well, you can after you, would you agree that does happen? Mass hallucinations is a thing that happens, right?
Well, I agree. I agree it's possible for mass hallucination to occur.
And you understand that the Miracle of Fatima was investigated to a pretty good degree for a while, right? And that under that investigation, a massive amount of people who were there did not see said miracle. They were standing in the same place, looked up, and did not see it. Is that correct? It is. So
that's correct.
Yes. So that means that 70,000 people did not see this miracle. Don't take credit for that. You can take credit for how many people said they saw the miracle. Guess what? It is vanishingly small. And upon investigation, that number got smaller. So
Does your argument have anything beyond the fact that we should believe in God because 100 years ago a disputed thing happened? Or are you setting the table for something?
Yeah, good call. I wholly reject that miracle as a thing. I'm unconvinced by it, and I gave you the reason for it. So, are we done?
No, if you don't want your audience to hear the miracles that
they can Google it. We fully invite everybody to investigate things. We're just trying to put on a quality show.
The Catholic Church
doesn't necessarily involve listening to that story.
The Catholic Church has done they're not hiding their claims of miracles. Is there one?
Well, I'm willing to put forth the evidence. You seem to want to censor me. You don't want me to give the evidence for Fatima?
Hold on. Did I jump in and say, here is the miracle? Yes. Did you agree with me? No. And then you spoke, and actually, it turns out, yes. We talked about what it was, right? Sun zipping around the sky, three children interacting with the Virgin Mary. And then I told you my account of it, and honestly, I don't even need to do that. See, you need to demonstrate that it's possible before you can demonstrate that it's probable. And from my understanding of the universe, if the sun came in close to the earth, we would burn up. If the sun zipped around the sky, our poles, it would be end of life on earth. So obviously that God, if it was a miracle, was giving a mass hallucination to everybody there, because that's the only way that could have happened. We don't have a culture where people are on the other side of the planet going, holy crap, the sun was doing some shit. So obviously it was a hallucination.
Well, would you
one that
like
is
to
authorized
know
by your
the
God?
evidence for it not being a mass hallucination? I mean, are you willing to hear why it was not a mass hallucination?
Okay.
Or are you open to hearing that?
So even if
Or do you just want to censor me?
Well, again, are we establishing that proving Fatima happened is necessary for your argument to make sense? Like, is the whole thing that we're talking about whether or not Fatima happened, or was there something else going on here?
Yeah, no, America.
We're just going to like debunk
evidence.
every miracle that ever happened.
I mean,
we're
it's
going to
fun.
be here a long time.
But I mean, the thing is, James, this isn't the U.S. government. You're calling our show, so it's not censorship. It's we're letting you on at our leisure. Do you get that?
Right, but you're challenging Christians to present evidence for God, and I'm presenting evidence for a miracle that is a Christian miracle, a Catholic Christian miracle that is evidence for God, and you're not allowing me to speak. You're not allowing me to present the evidence. And the only reason I can assume
I'm sorry, just want to establish real quickly.
Evidence proves God's existence.
So everything we're doing here is you have a piece of evidence that this miracle happened. Because this miracle happened, the Catholic Christian God exists, and that's everything. So if we let you give us this evidence, we will all be believing that the Catholic God is the one true Lord and Savior. Is that where we're going?
Well, there may be some in your audience that may be open to that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe not everybody will believe you, but okay. If you want to give a piece of evidence that can prove the existence of God by proving that this miracle happened, quickly do so. Go for it. We're so ready to hear it if this is your argument.
What information do we not have?
Okay, so your contention was that it was a mass hallucination, which again, that's the atheist go-to position. But the fact of the matter is, before the miracle actually took place, it was raining that night and that morning, and all of they had puddles. You look at the photos, the ground was all muddy and wet.
Quickly now, this is your moment in front of a big audience to prove that God exists.
Yes.
Like, are we talking about puddles? What are we doing here?
You told me I could go ahead and present the evidence.
Yes, but don't talk about why atheists always do this. Like, just do it. Just do the thing. Floor is yours. Do the thing.
Okay, so anyway, if you watched any of the documentaries on Fatima, it's not a small number that witnessed the actual sun moving out of its location in the sky. It was actually most of them. The majority of people that were there saw it and witnessed it.
How do you know that?
And not only that,
he said it in a documentary. That'll prove everything. Not only that, but the news media, the secular news media, not some Christian group, they were there and they also witnessed it and they reported on it. That was the Portugal news media, and the New York Times and other newspapers all around the world picked up on it in 1917. This was October 13th, 1917, when this occurred. And when the sun moved around in the sky, it lasted for about 9 or 10 minutes. And during that period of time, all of the water, all of the moisture on the ground completely dried up.
Because evaporation.
In the documentary, physicists.
Would you like to quickly just plug this documentary and let everybody go and watch it, and then become Catholic Christians from there?
Numerous documentaries.
Okay.
Numerous documentaries.
The Miracle of Fatima, Miracle of the Sun, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone else.
I can't speak. Okay, so anyway, the scientists said that in order for that amount of moisture to evaporate in that short a period of time, it would have taken the amount of energy from the epicenter of an atomic explosion. And obviously there was no atomic explosion because nobody died.
Right.
So we're looking at actual physical evidence that occurred during the time in which the sun was swirling around in the sky. And now you brought up the idea that, well, everybody would have burned up if the sun came towards them. Mm-hmm. Well, if God is all powerful, then that would not be the case.
But God is not powerful enough to actually speak for themselves, but they need you, right?
Or get better publishing for this documentary.
What was that?
Yeah. God is apparently powerful enough to move the sun in the sky. Other people won't see it. It's totally real. And protect them, but still needs an apologist, right?
Well, the thing is, God doesn't force himself on anyone. The Christian God doesn't force himself. He's not like some kind of slave master that,
no,
has
he'll
a
just
bunch of mind-numb robots following him.
He'll just torture you for eternity if you don't, right?
Therefore, you can either listen to the truth or you can reject the truth. It's up to you.
Well, what a supremely
that's just one miracle.
Actually, you know what? That does strike me as one of the most condescending things I've ever heard. You can accept the truth or you can reject the truth.
Well,
either way, I have it and you don't.
Itself.
So let's.
And also, that's not the only miracle. There's another miracle.
Yeah, cool. No, we're stopping.
That's enough story
We're hitting
time.
the brakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also
so miracles exist,
current,
therefore God exists. This miracle that we
dispute
shouldn't be disputed. Have I summed up the call? Is that everything?
But you haven't disputed it.
Yeah, we
you haven't been able to debunk it or dispute it.
Oh,
no, you haven't.
You told me that a scientist on a documentary said a thing. I don't have a comeback for that. I'll go watch it.
Mass hallucination. I just
Okay.
proved that it wasn't a mass hallucination. What's your response?
I missed that part.
Yeah, sure. No worries. Okay, so I'll give you an example, and then we are going to move on to the next call. But here's my example. Okay. There is a book. I'm totally making this up, by the way. There is a book, and in this book, it is definitely said that I died. I was murdered, and because I'm going to go back to the resurrection as the miracle that I'm going to go with on this. That I came back to life after 3 days, and it was seen by 50,000 people, right? Or that I came down from the sky and spoke to people, and there were, 7,000 people? So now we have 7,000 eyewitness accounts, right? I mean, how do you dispute that?
Okay, so what you're saying is that the secular media misreported it, even though they were there and they witnessed it themselves? So they're wrong, but you'll believe what? I guess you believe maybe...
I understand that there's cherry-picked...
The mainstream media says today, you'll believe it, but you don't believe what the media reported in 1917, even though they were there.
So it has been broadly and really, it has been looked into, man. Check some more sources, because again, the majority of people did not say the majority of holy shit. The majority of people did not say that they saw it. In fact, the majority of people investigated by
cite your source. Cite your source. Cite your source which says the majority of people did not see it.
Can we just zoom out real quick and recognize that we're really sincerely talking about a weather event 100 years ago as the explanation for the existence of God?
Right.
I mean, 40,000 people could be watching this YouTube video if God wanted to prove his existence.
Then you just lied.
Hold on.
Then you just lied. You just said that the majority did not see it, and I asked you to cite your claim, and you're not able to back up what you just claimed.
You
can't cite your source. That's because you lied. You lied to your audience.
We didn't memorize our documentary before we got on air. We didn't know you'd be calling about this particular miracle.
Shoot me an email, eric@atheist-community.org, and we'll compare.
But also the miracle
we'll whip them out and find out.
Disproves atheism as well. And not only that, the Shroud of Turin disproves atheism.
The Shroud of Turin disproves atheism. Okay. I guess tune in next week, folks.
Yeah.
One miracle per call.
I actually didn't hang up on them.